Stay tuned for urban legends to ghostly tales of the paranormal, because now it's time for
Message on the Wall.
This is Message on the Wall, bringing you haunted cemeteries in Arizona. And we begin with what is possibly the most well-known, Boothill in Tombstone. Many of the graveyard's residents died in gunfights, by being hung and even murdered, some by Indians. In the pioneering days of the Wild West, what was originally called the Tombstone Cemetery had its first interment in 1878. Over the years, many more followed, including Billy Clanton and Tom and Frank McClowry, who died in what is now a most famous shootout at the OK Corral. And of course, with so many bad men, it's hard to think they could be anywhere else but trapped wherever their bodies lay. One of the most famous ghost photos was taken at Boothill. It was when Terry Hike Clanton, yes, a descendant of the OK Corral Clantons, visited the cemetery with a friend, and being dressed in a cowboy outfit to make him look like he was straight out of the 1880s, having his photograph taken, it produced an extra person on the negative. Using a camera with a black and white film, Ike took the picture of his friend with the Dragoon Mountains in the background. It wasn't until the film was developed that also in the background a young man could be seen that both men claim wasn't there. Ike also says he's had other paranormal experiences at the cemetery, but whether looking for ghosts or not, this is a place for anyone to visit that's got a fascination for the Wild West. Another haunted cemetery in Arizona is the Mesa Cemetery in Mesa. Established in 1881, this is still a well-kept working cemetery that is open from dawn to dusk. Sectioned into lots, there is the garden for cremated remains, the heritage garden, a landscape garden, rolling meadows, an infant section, and the original section. Part of the original cemetery was where the Circle K store is now situated on North Mesa Drive. Although the remains of those early pioneers were moved to the historical section at Mesa Cemetery, staff at the Circle K have reported paranormal activity having taken place there. With so many trees in certain areas of the cemetery, as dusk falls, the outstretched branches can quickly bring darkness, giving the place an eerie feel. There have been EVPs got at the site during the day, but it isn't advised to attempt a nighttime investigation without permission. Moving on to Whitmann is the Whitmann Cemetery. Situated on West Galvin Street, Whitmann can be found between Phoenix and Wickenburg. The cemetery, with its headstones set among the tall cactus, is maintained by volunteers. One interesting grave is that of Copper Penny, who passed away in 1987. The grave is often scattered with coins in memory of the name. The ghost here is said to be a farmer who prowls near the cemetery gate at night. The area is dark at night, especially if there's no moon, but it may be a place to try for EVPs, as any photographic orbs can be discounted, with this being a desert-type community. Our last haunted cemetery in Arizona is the Pioneer and Military Memorial Park in Phoenix. This being the historic cemetery dating back to the 1800s, with its occupants being among others Civil War veterans. Being fenced off, there is a parking lot on West Jefferson Street that looks to cut into the cemetery itself, with a gated entrance leading into a desert-type oasis scattered with palm trees. What is left of the cemetery is an amalgamation of 7 cemeteries that at one time sat alongside one another. When the conditions of the original cemetery became unacceptable, more land was purchased and new cemeteries dedicated, but these too became dilapidated, that families removed their loved ones and had them reinterred in plots in other cemeteries. Investigations have taken place in the cemetery as well as the Smurthwaite house that sits within the cemetery grounds, and that is also said to be haunted. And those are a few haunted cemeteries in Arizona. Listen out for more haunted cemeteries right here from Message on the Wall. You have been listening to Message on the Wall, brought to you in association with Paranormal Parodies. You can find Paranormal Parodies at paranormal-parodies.com.